Even though I cry, it doesn't mean that I'm a weakling or I'm not a big man no matter how I try. Reality keeps hitting me, but I'm only human, so I cry to ease the pain that I'm feeling inside, which leaves me alone in my solitude reasoning. Besides his life, you cannot control the past, only what's happening. The truth is, we are all traumatized. We're not only dealing with problems that are, related to life and death, like animals. You also deal with problems that are created by the system itself, problems that are created by the matrix itself. You see, one day you're gonna die, and you know that. Sometimes you get sick and you ask yourself, is this it? Sometimes when you're driving, you know, you know that you're going far. You hope that you make it. You don't know what's gonna happen. There's always that anxiety that you deal with. Like, will this be my last day? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always that anxiety. I'm pretty sure that animals deal with the same, kind of anxiety. But these are not the only problems that you deal with. Life itself comes with a lot of problems for humans. Some people don't know how to provide for their kids. They have children and they don't know how to provide for them. So they're stressing. I've seen men cry, bro, because they can't provide for their kids. The wife is like, thinks that the man is lazy, is not trying, and he can't really be vulnerable. He can't really say, yo, man, look, babes, like, I've been trying. I don't know why things keep on not working out. I don't know what to do. Sometimes I feel like giving up. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't just express yourself. That you don't want to. You won't want the person that you're in a relationship with to feel like you're weak. So you have to pretend that, yeah, you still got your shit together. Like, it's life is so difficult, man. Like, there are a lot of systems that make it hard for people to get where they want to be or to get what they want. Like, it's not easy to have an easy life, and we all want to have easy lives. Like, no one wants to have a hard life. I don't think there's a person who wants to have a hard life. Even those who seem to be making their lives harder, on papers, right? Maybe a person wants to work out a lot, like all the time they're in the gym. The reason is because they want their lives to be easy. So they have to do things that are hard for their lives to be easy. It's not that they want their lives to be hard. So we do things that are hard so that our lives will be easy. I work out, I go to the gym because I want to be healthy. I don't want to have to be facing major illnesses, in the future. So I must work out to prevent that. I work hard so that I'll have I'll have food. I don't want to reach a point where there's no food, right? I don't want to reach a point where I can't afford shelter. I don't want to reach a point where I'm not able to pay my bills. So I have to do things that are hard in order to get what I want, in order for life to be a bit easier. We are all traumatized, man. Like, there are a lot of things that human beings deal with. Think of the things that you had to deal with when you were in primary school, when you were in high school. Some of you had to deal with bullying. There were some kids that wanted to make your life hell. And you didn't understand. You're like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't things be simple? Why can't life be simple? Why do we bully? Why do we bully one another? You know, why do we make fun of one another? Like, why do we want to make each other's lives miserable instead of trying to make each other's lives better? We're trying to make each other's life miserable. Like, what is it? What can we possibly gain from that? But you had to deal with bullies. You find that you're in the same class, so you have to deal with these people every day. When the teacher, is in the classroom, you have to deal with them. When the teacher is no longer in the classroom, you have to deal with them. Like, you have to deal with these people. You had to deal with heartbreak. It sucks that we're programmed to become attached to some people. And they break your heart. They show you that they're not that special person that you thought they were. You know what I'm saying? Like, you meet a person and you're like, damn, this is my soulmate. Wow. I didn't think this could happen. You even try to convince yourself that this is not a hell room. You're like, you know what? Let me stop watching Benedictine. Dude might be crazy. Like, this might not really be the hell room that he says it is. Think about it. Love. I found the love of my life. Wow, she treats me well. He treats me so well. And then, boom, heartbreak. And you find yourself struggling to recover. It seems easy. It seems like when you meet a person and yeah, they seem cool. They're well dressed. It seems, I don't know. It seems like life is easy. You know what I'm saying? But people are going through a lot. They have people that they are missing. People who don't want to ever talk to them. Some can't even see their kids. You know what I'm saying? Some are catching a case. There's a person that you see in the street who's going to go to jail soon, and they know. Like, people are dealing with a lot. You know what I'm saying? All these things create trauma, and we can't avoid it. Can you imagine if in a few days you go to jail and you're catching a case? You're like, damn, man, how am I gonna survive? Deal with serious criminals. You deal with actual psychos. You're not a psycho. You just made a mistake. Maybe you got into a fight. There are people who are waiting for their results. They don't have money to continue to pay their tuition fee, right? So they're gonna get their result this December. They're waiting for this result, desperately waiting for this results. I remember I I came across a story on Facebook about a kid who ended his life, a grade 12 student, uh, somewhere in South Africa. The kid was caught cheating, and he just ended his life. And it reminded me of the pressure that we were dealing with when we were still students. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot of pressure, and it feels like every problem that you deal with at a stage of your life feels big, even if it's not, but it feels big. So it creates trauma, even if it's not a big problem. You know what I'm saying? You could ask yourself, can this kid solve the problem? Like, there has to be ways that they can solve the problem. Yes, they will fail, but they'll be able to go back to school, and that's good. There are kids who end their lives if they like they have real potential. They fail and they end their lives. Even if they can go back and try again, it's just a year. You know what I'm saying? It's just 12. It's 12 months, right? Mm, Actually, less. But all these experiences that we have are traumatizing. At every stage of your life, you deal with certain traumas. So they may seem small to others, but at the time, they will seem big to you. When you were younger, losing a pen was a big deal. You lost a pen, right? It's a big deal. You stressed the whole day because you lost a pen. People are traumatized, man. You're like, why are things so difficult? Why can't life be easy? You don't have to work a job that you hate. You don't you don't get to a point where you start to feel like a slave. Remember, I came across a video on TikTok from this guy. Um, he was saying he was working in a suburb in South Africa. I don't know where specifically, but it was a nice suburb. So he's working in the suburb, he's recording a video, and he's saying, when we we're growing up, we wanted to be pilots, we wanted to be doctors, engineers. But look at me now. I'm a security guard. I'm guarding those people who managed to achieve these dreams that we had. I wanted to have cars. Look at those cars. These people have beautiful cars. I don't even have a car. These people live in beautiful house. So I have to guard the people who are living the life that I wanted to live. I felt it. He said it as a joke, but you could still see truth in what we're saying. Like, it's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's true, and you feel his pain. Like, dude is funny, but you can still feel his pain. In fact, the truth is funny. Truth about anything is funny, especially if you are very honest about it. Like, it becomes funny, right? So I'm looking at the guy and I'm like, how many of us didn't manage to reach our dreams? What did you want to be? Me, I wanted to be a rapper and I wanted to become famous. I do believe I'm a good rapper. I do believe that, it was possible for me to make a hit, but I didn't make it as a rapper. It didn't happen. I mean, I can still make it because I'm better than I've ever been. So we'll see. But yeah, I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be a performer. Now I don't know. I don't even want to be a rapper anymore. And I think if you want something so bad, like the part of you that wants it, if you don't get it, it dies. You know what I'm saying? It just dies completely. Yeah, I wanted to be a rapper. I didn't become a rapper. What did you want to be when you grow up? Is your life how you pictured it? Will the 10-year-old you be happy if they saw what you became? But yo, it all worked out in the future. It all works out for me in the future. Sad, man. Like if you had to pay attention to every person's life, their story, the things that they go through. There's this song by Christian, not by Christian. if you watch professional wrestling, there's a guy, his name is Christian. His theme song, yeah, it's called Just Close Your Eyes. Not sure who sings it. It goes like, if you close your eyes, your life naked truth revealed. Truth you never lived and scars never healed. In the darkness, light will take you to the other side. Find me waiting there, you see, if you just close your eyes. Like if you just close your eyes, you see all the desires that you didn't get to fulfill. Like if you had to pay attention to every person's story, unfulfilled desires, needs that are not being met, lost loved ones, dreams that we never got to live. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we deal with a lot as conscious beings, bro. You have desires, you know. You don't know how to fulfill this. You're like, yo, man, I hope, but time. You end up getting the things that you want when it's late, too late now. You're like, I wanted this 3 years back, dude. Why am I getting it now? It doesn't mean what it would have meant if I got it 3 years back. It's life. Like, how many of us are living the lives that we wanted? Huh? How many of us in this world? Like, if you were to estimate, what percentage of people would you say are living the lives that they want to live? They wanted to live. Like, they'll be like, "This is it, bro. Like, I made it. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better life. This is it. This is what I wanted, and it's so beautiful." How many of us are living the lives that we would have wanted to live? Hmm? We're traumatized. How many of us are not talking to some people? There's some people that you have not talked to in years and you don't talk to them. Trauma. They've done something that traumatized you. You don't ever want to talk to them. It could be your mom, it could be your brother, it could be your sister, it could be your dad, it could be your granddad, your grandmother, it could be a friend, a lover. You know what I'm saying? Someone that was your lover, someone that was your friend. You know, you no longer talk to these people, like, at all. You're traumatized. We don't even know how to respond to things anymore because of trauma. Like, trauma affects us more than we think. I keep on telling people that suffering doesn't build character; it destroys it, and people don't believe me. Suffering builds character. Suffering builds character. Hey, you'll be resilient, but it doesn't mean that you'll be the best version of yourself. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if you go through certain things, you be resilient. I wouldn't say stronger, but I would say you be more resilient. If you call that strong, then yeah. But you will be barely functioning. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like being numb. You're so numb, but you're not functioning. Like, okay, things are happening that are making people go crazy. These things are happening to you, they're not making you go crazy, but you're not functioning. You're not the best vision of yourself. You're not performing the way that you'll be performing if you didn't have to deal with all these crazy things. You know what I'm saying? That you've had to deal with. Trauma. I remember there's this episode of South Park. Very good episode. It was about bringing out regressed memory. They kind of made a spoof of the movie Inception. I'm trying to remember what the what it really like what was really happening in that episode. But yeah, what they will do is they will bring out your childhood trauma so that it's to explain your life basically. Like, why do you respond like this to certain things? Why are you afraid to perform on stage? You find that when you were young, you peed yourself on stage, and since then, they laughed at you. No, the way no one was there to comfort you. Like, you got humiliated so battle that because of that you can't perform on stage. You're afraid to. You know what I'm saying? That's what trauma does to us. Like, it makes us not be afraid to do certain things. It makes us afraid to do certain things. So it doesn't build character, it destroys it. Now, some people can't perform on stage because of trauma. You're afraid to talk to strangers. Maybe you tried to talk to strangers before and they responded to you harshly. Since then, you never wanted to talk to strangers. You're afraid. You're like, what if? Because everyone has a right to be who they want to be. If a person wants to be rude, they have a right to be rude. They can be rude. So you know that you're like, Ish, what if when I say hi to this person and I try to talk to them, what if they are rude? What if they're rude and they say something bad? There's nothing you can do. You just have to deal with it. You're like, oh shit, this person said this. Really? How can a person be that horrible? But you deal with it. You can't be like, but you can't respond to me like that. I mean, some people do try to, I don't try to fight with people because they're responding to them badly, but it's a fight that you're probably going to lose, because if you end up having to go to court, you're losing, you know. Like, you be the one who will be judged in that situation. Like, yeah, you should have just let it go. And it's true. You should just let it go. But yeah, the people who are afraid, like, to even ask for help because of how the people have responded in the past when they ask for help, they just keep to themselves. People are afraid to share their thoughts because they weren't taken seriously before. People were afraid to express themselves because they were laughed at, they were gossiped about. You're like, I do want to talk to someone. I do want to talk to someone about what I'm going through, but in the past when I tried to do that, people just laughed at me or they started talking about me with other people. Now everyone knows about my problem. And it's what usually happens in this realm. You share something with someone, you're like, don't tell anyone, and the whole world knows now. Like, yeah, but don't tell anyone this. Benedictine. Benedictine, he's taking antidepressants. His girlfriend broke up with him, and yeah, she's not coping. He didn't want me to tell anyone this, so don't tell anyone. Like, why is it so exciting to tell someone bad news about someone? You know what I'm saying? Because this is common. Like, people will tell you bad news about others. You're like, why is that so common and why is it so exciting? Like, you couldn't wait. Like, there are people who leave their houses because they want to talk about other people. Like, they've discovered something bad about you and they want to talk about it. They want to talk about it with someone, so they leave their houses. Like, yo, I gotta talk to someone about this, and they're so excited, so happy to talk about it. How can we not be traumatized, man? How can we be okay? We got emotions that we don't know how to control. It gets to a point where we pretend as if we're controlling our emotions. People think that if you don't act, you're controlling your emotions. No, we just don't do anything. Like, you get to a point where you're so mad, but you do nothing. You're so depressed, but you do nothing. You're so sad, but you don't do anything. You feel like crying, but you don't cry. You feel like screaming, but you don't scream. You feel like punching the wall, but you don't. And you think you're controlling your emotions. You're not controlling your emotions. You're controlling, I would say maybe you're controlling your actions. I think maybe that's the best way to put it. You know? People are suffering, man. People are suffering. And they don't know what to do, like when you're suffering, but you don't know, like, what should I do? Like, this is suffering. I don't know what other people call it, but to me, this is suffering. This isn't something that I prefer. This isn't something that I want. This isn't something that I feel is beautiful. I feel like I'm suffering. We're traumatized, man. We're afraid of a lot of things, afraid of losing people that we love. I remember when I was young, I would sometimes cry because I was so afraid of losing a parent, I'll think about my dad and I'll be like, yo, I hope he lives long enough, I can't deal with losing him. I look at my mom, I feel the same way. I lost my dad last year. I'd say at least I was a bit older. It doesn't hit the same way that it would have if, like, maybe I lost him when I was like 10. But yeah, it's trauma, bro. Like, thinking about what could happen, because you don't know what can happen. People can say, yeah, stop thinking negative things. You got to. You actually got to. The reason why is because you're trying to figure out what's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to prevent certain things from happening. So you have to think of every outcome. Like, if things can go wrong, you have to think of that. Like, yo, it's possible for things to go wrong. How will I deal with it? Some things you get prepared for them because you thought about them before. So I'll think about that, and it's a difficult thing to think about. So it's something that we deal with. You're like, yo, what if I lose this person? What if I lose what I have? That creates discomfort, right? You just think about some of the things that you have. You're like, what if I lose it? What if I lose my house? Where am I gonna sleep? What if I lose my job? What if I lose my leg? What if I lose my hand? You know what I'm saying? What if I lose my eyesight? What if I become sick? Like, there are a lot of things, that we are afraid of because we see these things happening to other people. You look at another person, you're like, what have they done wrong that I haven't done for them to deserve that? Like, these things could happen to anyone. You could go to a hospital and they say you have cancer, and you're like, dang, is that real? And you have to deal with it, right? This whole thing is traumatizing, man. Life is harder than we would like to acknowledge. People are dying inside, They know that no one cares, and that's what sucks. Why weren't we programmed to deeply care about one another so that when things are not going well for some people, we don't feel, I don't know, we don't feel a bit happy because people feel, I don't know, man, like, people feel like, you could tell when they're talking bad about some people who are not doing well. They feel good, and you're like, how? Yes, there are people who genuinely care about you. If you are not doing well, they will, uh, yeah, they will be deeply affected, you know. But some people just don't care, bro. They want something to talk about. They want something exciting that's so bored, you know. They're so bored. I wish life made sense, you know. I wish it was easier to create meaning. Even though we're traumatized, you know, it would be nice if the story made sense in the end. You're like, ish. Yeah, I went through hell, you know, the pain that I had to deal with in this existence. But you look you look at where you are now, you're like, but it all makes sense, you know. The reason why once you start watching a movie, you want to watch it until the end, or you want to know how it ends. Like, even if it's a boring movie, you're like, damn, I want to know how it ends. Like, it's boring. I don't, but you want to know how it ends. It's because you feel like things will make sense in the end. You're like, yeah, because you know, the movie was written, the movie was written by a human. You're like, yeah, a human being will want a happy ending. Like, I want to see this guy winning. You look at your character, the main character, because you're seeing things from his perspective. You're kind of like seeing him the way that you see yourself. Like, you know what he's thinking. They're showing you his secrets. You know, so you want him to win. You see yourself in him. But what's sad is that life isn't really like that. It's actually rare to experience a happy ending. Most of what we call a happy ending is uh, success that we deserved from the beginning. Like, there's certain things that you deserve just for being alive, bro. Like, you deserve these things, you know. If you're born in poverty and you get a job and it feels like that's a happy ending, it's like, I deserved that from the beginning, bro. I didn't need to be broke. I didn't have to live in poverty. Happy ending would be like a great, like something great, like your life ending, like you ending up where you really want to be for real, not not having things that you were deprived of as a human, like something a bit extraordinary, you know. So you already have what you deserve for being alive, and then there is more. Because most of what we call a happy ending ends up not being a happy ending. So okay, you got the job, you were broke, no money, now you got a job, and it seems like, yeah, now it's time for happiness, and then boom, you got more problems now. Where you work, you don't get along with your boss. That's a problem. So you and your boss are not getting along. You and some of your coworkers are not getting along. The job is hard. Every day you have to wake up really early in the morning to go to work. It's not a job that you like, it's not a job that you wanted, but at least you're making some money. But you're not happy at work. You just tell yourself that at least on weekend I'll be free. At least I will have money on weekend to buy what I want, bro. Like, I don't want to be completely broke. Can you imagine what that is like? I don't want to feel like that. Like, you know, you forgot what it's like to be broke. You're like, I don't want to feel like that. Not even have a cent. I gotta have some money What if I want popcorns? What if I want cold drink, It's hot. What if I want a cold drink? What if I want to travel somewhere? What if I want a beer? People are dealing with trauma. And we don't even know what is really going on or what we're supposed to be doing. I just know that if I wake up feeling sick, I gotta go to a clinic and queue. If I feel hungry, gotta try to find food, cook if there's food. If I feel bored, maybe I gotta watch South Park, Atlanta, or talk to someone, or go and play snooker. Thing is, you don't have an off button like where you could switch yourself off and then on again. Like when you're bored, you can't be like, you know what? Let me press the button. I'm gonna wake up. Now it's like 10 a.m. I'm gonna wake up at 5. I'm bored, bro. I got nothing to do. Switch yourself off. Program yourself to wake up at 5. We don't have that option. You just have to be conscious and you experience boredom. So you try to do something to get rid of boredom. Sometimes we do things that we don't even want to do just to get rid of boredom. Sometimes we drink alcohol. You find that you don't want to drink alcohol, but you don't know how to get rid of boredom. You want to be busy with something that is interesting, but there's nothing interesting to do. You're just bored. Life didn't give us that option to pose life, basically. You just pose it. This reminds me of one of my favorite episodes from South Park. So, Eric Ketman was waiting for a Nintendo game to come out, but he couldn't sleep. The game was supposed to come out in 3 weeks, but Ketman couldn't sleep. Like he would, he'll wake up and like, no, he actually wake up. He just will not sleep. It's like 2 a.m. He's looking at his watch. It's like, okay, it's 2 a.m. And then he tries to think about other things. He tries to do other things. Then he check his watch again. It's like 2:02. He's like, what the hell? Like, time is not moving. So he decided that he was going to freeze himself for 3 weeks. One of my favorite episodes, bro. Like it said he's gonna freeze himself for 3 weeks because he can't wait for the turn week. Right? He can because he used to go to the store all the time. You know, to ask them if it has come out yet, and they would tell them that kid, for the 40th time, if it's gonna come out in 3 weeks. One of my favorite scenes was when his mom found him in a freezer. So she opens and she found him there trying to freeze himself. She's like, yo, stop trying to freeze yourself. But he ended up freezing himself. He got butters to help him and he froze himself. And he woke up 500 years in the future. You know, South Park is crazy, bro. But he couldn't wait. I remember when I was dealing with the breakup 2018. I wanted to do the craziest thing ever. I wanted to go to a hospital. I'm telling you, like I genuinely wanted to do this. Right? I wanted to go to a hospital and tell them to put me in a coma. How crazy is that? I don't even know how that conversation would go. Like, what do I say? Like, I'm dealing with the Lord right now. I just want to be in a coma, as if that's gonna help. No, it doesn't help. Because first of all, the things that you're dealing with already exist in your mind. You know the problems that you have. You know what I'm saying? So even if you're in a coma, you can still dream about these things. I could still dream about the breakup. I could still continue. Or maybe I'm in a coma right now. This is a dream. It's possible. Maybe I was successful. Maybe they did put me in a coma and now I'm dreaming and I'm gonna wake up in a coma because of the breakup. And when I wake up, I'll be like, oh shoot. So now I still gotta deal with this now. So it's 2018. I was in a coma. I've been in a coma for a month. Uh, I created a YouTube channel where I was talking about philosophy. It had like 13,000 subscribers. It was a beautiful channel. I was very honest. I was very transparent. Uh, but yeah, it was just I was in a coma. So okay, let me create a channel. Let me create something similar. You know, you never know. Existence is weird, man. This world is weird. I hope you find a peace of mind in this lifetime. I hope you find a paradise before I fall fast asleep. Love me for me. I love these lyrics. I hope you find a peace of mind in this lifetime. And I do. If you're watching my videos, I believe you deserve that. You deserve a peace of mind. You deserve love. You deserve happiness. You deserve connection. You deserve understanding. You deserve freedom. You deserve truth. You deserve all of that. You deserve money. Sometimes when you become too conscious, you demonize money, and you know what? It's not being used right. So it's understandable. It's not being used right. Like no one should be super rich, like to a point where it just wouldn't be natural to be that rich. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not natural. Like you can't be. But it's how it works. You know, like money was supposed to make things easier, but it made things harder because we corrupt as people. But you deserve money. You should have access to the things that you want. You should have a peace of mind. You should be able to sleep at night knowing everything is okay. You deserve that. You deserve to know how that feels like. You know, not be afraid all the time because things have always been going wrong for you. You're like, can things ever go right? I mean, I'm used to things going wrong, so I'm expecting things to go wrong, you know. And you've been through a lot. Like you've been through a lot that there's no hope anymore. You're like, there's no way things are going well for me. Like you lost all hope. This is something that conscious beings in this realm deal with. This is something that conscious beings in this realm deal with. Loss of hope. Like, will we ever be okay? Will this ever make sense? Will I ever be able to justify this? I mean, once you hit the age of 30, bro, you look back and you're like, I had hope. But now, I don't know. It's no longer promising. I'm just glad I was able to buy my first car at 32. You know, because once you reach a certain age, you look back and it feels like things ain't gonna like work in your favor, right? But sometimes things do happen. But it feels like as you get older, things get harder. So it's much easier to lose hope. Like you no longer have that zeal that you had, that courage. I mean, the courage might be there. So you no longer have the zeal or the belief that you need to achieve what you need to achieve. Yeah, I failed too many times. It's what I know. You know, I know I failed. You know, it's something that I'm used to now. I'm not used to winning. Ever been so used to losing that when you win, you don't even know how to feel? No, it's a serious question. Like, ever been so used to losing that even when you win, you don't know. Like, how do I even celebrate? I'm not even used to celebrating. Like, how am I supposed to feel? I've been losing a lot in this world. What a sad experience that most of us are having. Dealing with unnecessary problem. A problem that you know shouldn't exist. You're like, where is this problem coming from? Like, should I be having this kind of problem? Should this kind of problem exist in my reality? But it does. What a sad world that we live in. All around me, I see familiar faces. Going nowhere, going nowhere. How does this song go? All around me are familiar places, worn out faces, worn out places. Eh, I don't really remember how this song goes. We're hiding our sorrow. We're living in a mad world. Not the world we had in mind, is it? It reminds me of a joke from Bill Blair. I remember I made a video recently. I actually spoke about him. I actually spoke about Bill Blair, but I couldn't remember his name. Oh, he made a joke about it, a dog that he had to put down. So I couldn't remember his name. His name is Bill Blair. Bill Blair. Yeah, if you've watched this, it's funny. So it's like, I hate it when he said he went to his son's school or some his nephew's school, because I think he didn't have a kid at the time. And yeah, they were talking about what they want to be when they grow up and all of that. And there was this lady that was telling them that kid be whatever they want. It was like, I was so pissed, like, tell these children the truth. And maybe most of you ain't even gonna make it. And you look, like, when I look at my classmates, right, like, none, like very few got to be where, I mean, not even, I don't even know if there's anyone who ever got to achieve what they wanted. But like, when I think deeply about it, like, yeah, someone got to become a cop, someone got to become a teacher. They're doing way better than a lot of people in South Africa. But is this what they wanted? You know what I'm saying? Was this the dream? I want to be a pilot. Nobody became a pilot. I remember when I was young, my parents, when I was young, my parents would be very happy when I said I wanted to be a pilot. Like, they just believed that I was going to become a pilot. And they'll clap hands for me, Like, he wants to become a pilot. Like, he's so intelligent, he wants to become a pilot. Do I understand, man? We're living in a mad world. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, bright and, what do they say? Early for their daily races, going nowhere. And they whatever, one hiding there. Whatever. I have to listen to this song again. Living in a mad world, man. This can't be it. I remember I saw a post on Facebook. I think this door is not properly closed. Which one? No. Okay. Now it's properly closed. I saw this post on Facebook. In fact, the one that I liked the most was on TikTok. It's about the same thing. I'm like, yo, what if life is just a dream and you are still in high school? It's 2005, and they showed us how it used to look like in 2005. Playing the music, and you're like, it feels like that was the real world. And even though we might not have appreciated it that much, but it was way better. You know what I mean? Like, it felt it felt innocent, you know? Like it's like the way these kind of problems that we're having now. It didn't really feel that much like a scam. But now it's just crazy, bro. Like, you look back, you're like, dude, I wish it was 2005. But maybe we just wish to be younger and free. You know, as we get older, there's just too many problems, bro. Too many problems. Like, you get sick, get addicted to things, you get addicted to alcohol, you get addicted to corn, you get addicted to gooning, you get addicted to smoking, you get addicted to, like, there's a lot of things that you can get addicted to, and you find that some of these things are destroying your life, you know. Now your worth is based on what you have, right? You are judged by what you have. You're like, I'm just a human, bro. Like, judge me as a human. I bought a car now. People treat me better than they treated me before. Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't want life to be a game, you know? I love games. I love playing snooker. I lose sometimes. I lost last night. I lost a lot of games last night. I wasn't playing very well. But it's a game. It's fun. I'm going to go back and play again. You know, maybe this time it will be better results and I'll be performing better and I'll enjoy the game more. But it's a game. It's something that I've agreed to be a part of. So that is beautiful, right? But if I didn't agree to be a part of something and I have to be a part of it, and it's a game, you know, it's not supposed to be gamish. We should be in a world where we will truly love one another. We're helping one another. You know what I'm saying? Things are making sense. Like, we've built a world that actually makes sense, but we create games that we can play. So the world makes sense, but there are games that we can play. That's good. But this is just traumatizing, man. I wish it got better as we got older. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Like, as you get older, you become more and more happy. It seems like it's quite the opposite. Like, most people, they were happier when they were kids, and as they got older, they became sad. Isn't that what it's like for many of us? As you get older, you're like, ish, what the heck is going on here? But when you're younger, you play, you know what I'm saying? You play outside with other kids. You're innocent, you know what I'm saying? You got food at home, they call you, like, come and eat. They buy you clothes. Now you're under pressure, you know? Like, as you get older, it seems like it becomes much harder to be happy. Like, you gotta keep on achieving things. It's that world that we're part of, man. A mad world. I wish we're able to make it make sense. I wish we were able to justify it, to make it beautiful. And that's what we were all interested in, to make it beautiful for everyone. No one asked to be here, man. And I think we must treat life that way, like as something that no one asked for. Because the way we're being treated, you'd swear we asked for this. Like we were fighting, like, ah, why not be here? You know, some people be like, yo, you chose to be here. It's like, no, dude, I don't remember choosing to be here, so I didn't. And I gave you this perfect example from the TV series Severance. So they're able to split someone's memories like this, right? So you don't have a job now, or you maybe you do have a job, but you're working for another company. So you remember everything that happened in your life. Maybe not everything, but some of the things, yes. Because I think we remember like less than 1% of the things that are happening in our lives, like if you think about it. But yeah, you do remember some things, like the most important things that have happened in your life. Then you get a job, you start waiting for this, you have to work for this company. So they tell you that they're gonna split your memories. Meaning, as soon as you enter your workplace, you forget everything that happened outside. And when you go outside, you forget everything that happens where you work. So you will know that when you wake up that you must go to work, but as soon as you enter the building, that's it. To the vision of you in the building, it's gonna be like you it will be like sleeping and waking up. And it will feel like this. So you go back home on Friday and then come back to work on Monday. But to you, it's gonna feel very instant because it'll be like, pew, pew. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be like that. Like it's gonna feel instant. It's gonna feel instantaneous. So the visions of them at work felt like prisoners. It's like, yo, I want to go outside. I want to know what it's like outside. I can't just be here working, not knowing what life is, what's going on, if I have a wife, if I have children when I'm outside and all of that. So they were not happy. And you're like, but then you chose to be here. No, they didn't. The vision of them that are experiencing what it's like to be where they're working didn't choose. They didn't make that choice. That is why they want to get out. So this thing of telling people that, oh, you chose to be here, you wanted to be here, before you came here, I'm like, that's low level philosophy. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't choose to be here. If you chose to be here, you would remember. You didn't. It's not you. Even if your higher self chose for you to be here, it's not you. I'm not my higher self, bro. This is Benedictine the truth. You hear what I'm saying? I didn't choose to be here. So if some entity, some high entity that has power chose for me to experience, it's not me, bro. This is me. I didn't choose this thing. So we're treating people as if they chose to be here, as if they wanted this, as if they cried for this. We'll be treating people better if we acknowledge the truth, which is that no one asked for this. No one said, I want to be here. We were brought here without our consent. And maybe that wouldn't be a bad thing if we truly understood that no one asked to be here. So we treat other people well because they didn't ask for this. They didn't ask to be part of the game. We wouldn't be so rude to one another. We wouldn't be traumatizing everyone. You find that people are getting traumatized all the time. No one will be getting traumatized because we'll be treating one another well. Like, no one asked for this, so why should I be treating someone horribly if nobody asked for this thing? Why should I be an a-hole to someone who didn't ask for this? Why shouldn't I be kind? Why shouldn't I be nice to people? Why should this stranger wants to talk to me? Why shouldn't I talk to them? Yes, it might be boring. Maybe it's a boring conversation, but let me try to have a conversation with them. Let me try to be nice to them. Let me try to make their day. No one asked for this. But instead, we're traumatizing one another. Trauma after trauma. Like it gets to a point where people are so traumatized that they can't even function anymore. What are we doing? Is this the world that we wanted? Is this the world we had in mind? What are we building? What are we working towards? What is the end game? How does it all end? Will we be able to explain it? Will we be able to make it make sense? And the worst part is that you can't just choose healing like out of like you just be like, you know what? I've experienced real trauma. I just want to heal and you just heal instantly. Doesn't work like that. We want healing. We want to feel well again. We want to be free, happy. But troubles be chasing us, forcing us to face them. Is that the life that we want? Is this the world that we had in mind? Sometimes when you meet people, just think about how hard life has been to them. Right? Just think about how life has been, how hard life has been to them. Maybe you treat them better. Because it seems to me that almost everyone is like going through it. Everyone is suffering. Most of us just don't have the things that we want, you know. It's not easy for us to get what we want. We're living like slaves basically. No one wants to be a slave. What we really want is freedom, you know. What will bring us real happiness is freedom. Like being free to experience life the way that you want to experience life, you know. But most of us are very limited in this realm. Very limited. No superpowers. Nothing close to that. It's like things just become this, like things are the same for too many years, bro. Thank you guys for watching this video until the end. Thank you for supporting this channel. Your support means a lot. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for commenting on my videos. Thanks for following me on Instagram. We communicate on Instagram. Thanks for joining the Discord. Thanks for following me on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for everything. Thanks for being part of this. You know. Thank you all, guys.